this movie is incredible. I hadn't read the book, so I was like hanging on every word, and your performances were like astonishing, phenomenal. So huge congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So I'll jump right in. My first question is for Daisy. So the film has a very unique narrative structure, exploring two separate timelines that eventually converge. And I'm curious what it was like for you to portray your character Kaya in this distinctive space.
Yeah, so it was definitely a challenge because we were filming, we out of order, so we weren't kind of in sequence. So it was kind of, trying to remember what had happened before and how old you were. And I found that costume really helped to kind of remind myself of kind of that physicality of the younger Kaya, as opposed to kind of her in the courtroom and the kind of maturity and the sort of I guess the sort of somberness of her. And yeah, it was, amazing that we had that book obviously to have as a reference all the time. So if you were ever sort of wondering how to approach a scene, you could just go and look at your character's entire inner life written for you on the page, which was incredible. So yeah.
Awesome, definitely. And then for Taylor, I'd love for you to talk about your character Tate and how you brought him to life. Did you use the book at all to inform your interpretation of him?
Absolutely. There's a ton of great lines in the book, and I think the one that encapsulates Tate the most is a real man cries without shame, reads poetry with his heart, feels opera in his soul, and does what's necessary to protect a woman. I think that's really how Tate tried to live his life. And there's so much kindness and curiosity and gentleness to Tate that is very clear in the book, and just trying to bring that to set every day. And I'm very grateful that it was so well written to where I didn't have to ask too many questions. It was on the page.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. And then for Daisy, you sort of touched on this a bit before, but I want to get a little bit deeper here. So Where the Crawdads Sing takes place in North Carolina in the 50s and 60s. And then as an audience member, I was completely transported back in time by the breathtaking costumes and then the incredible sets and everything. Can you talk about what it was like for you when you first arrived on location and stepped into that world?
Well, as a lover of the book, I was really excited to see how they were going to bring it to life. And one of the first locations we visited was Kaya's shack, which is such a huge location in the book that is quite iconic. So when I stepped on set and I saw they found this lagoon to build it on, and also because like Kaya, it ages through the decades as well, so seeing all the different iterations of that set was so incredible. And yeah, I think it was just an odd moment, because I really was like, gosh, this felt like it was lifted from my imagination. And when you're adapting a book, it's really cool because you have so many different people in the different departments coming together to kind of realize a vision, and to see sort of everybody pull all the stops out, and to see Mirren, our costumer, bring to life Kaya's outfits, and
Francie with the dialect to really tie it all in.
Totally, everybody working together to try and bring this story to life.
Definitely, yeah, a team effort that absolutely paid off because the film was so great, as I mentioned before. And then my next question is for Taylor. I'm curious, what are you most excited for audiences to see?
Well, I think the cool part about this film is you don't have to have read the book to fall in love with the movie. For people that have read the book, Reese Witherspoon did such an amazing job of making sure it was a loyal adaptation to the book. All these great moments that people kind of create in their minds as they're reading through, they got really right, I think. And it's got this romance aspect all throughout, this coming of age drama, this murder mystery, and so there's really something for everybody. I think it'd be like the perfect date night film for a guy to take his girl to if he doesn't have any previous knowledge of how amazing the book is.
Definitely, yeah. It was such a great world to sort of just get lost in for 2 hours. It was such a great film. I want to congratulate you both once again, and thank you so much for your time. It was such an honor to speak with you.
Thank you.
So I'll start with Sterling. So you deliver such a powerful performance in the film, and I was hoping you could discuss what it was like for you to bring such a beloved character from the book to life on screen.
Well, thank you very much first, Ashley. That's very kind of you. It was an honor for me on a lot of different levels. And it was a challenge too. The honor is it's very much sort of stepping in the shoes of my grandparents, of my grandfather. because that was their experience, living life in the Jim Crow South, and even very much my parents, but certainly my grandparents. And so to be able to have an opportunity to kind of live in their skin and try to extend myself empathetically to go through some of the kinds of experiences that they would have gone through made my connection with my ancestors even more profound. So that was a real blessing for me. And on top of it, the challenge is the very same thing. It's born out of the same notion, is to go through that and to have to swallow back so much of your self-assertiveness and your right to be you in order to make sure that you can provide for your family and those that you love, to have a visceral understanding of what that cost was too, was very challenging, but also an honor as well. So that for me was some of what I tried to bring to it and I experienced from it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is an incredible answer. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
And then for Michael, so your character is absolutely incredible. And there were so many powerful moments between your character and Kaya, so many of which did not even require dialogue. It almost felt like the subtext of a book being conveyed just through the emotions on your face. And I'm wondering, can you speak about portraying that relationship with Kaya on screen?
It was effortless. Jojo was magical, and she took my breath away. And I think that's exactly what you saw. The muscle scene when there was just, when she, living in her truth, when you're working with somebody like that, with an actor like that, there is no acting. There is only truth, vibrating with truth. The term namaste, I see the truth in you, I share the truth in you. And that is exactly what was happening in that moment. So I was so fulfilled, like I'm standing there looking down at this little girl who we are to perceive as innocent and in need. And really what's happening is she is filling me up. Do you know? And it is just a moment of, and I saw it in Livy too. Livy, the tremendous director, woman, fabulous diva that she is, but she just stepped away because it was very clear that what was happening needed no molding. Just put the camera where it needs to be put and let these people, let the energy that's in this room be recorded. And that is what I felt like. I was a sponge absorbing energy that was so healing and so gratifying. That's what it was.
Wow, that is incredible. And I would feel like I could speak with you both all day, but unfortunately I am out of time.
I love you,
Thank
Mama.
both so much. So much love to you both. It was
Thank
such an
you.
honor to speak with you. Huge congratulations on the film and take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Ashley.
So I'm going to jump right in here. So my first question, the film is the adaptation of the widely popular book. Can you speak to how you sort of got involved with the project and brought it to life?
I had read the book and loved it, and was eager to be considered to direct it. And then I read Lucy's adaptation and was so excited to work with such a lyrical screenwriter. And so I met with the producers, and then I met with the studio, and then I met with Reese, and eventually got offered the job.
Awesome. That's great. And then the creative team of this project is absolutely astonishing, from yourself to the incredible cast that delivered such powerful performances, Reese Witherspoon as a producer, and then an original song by Taylor Swift. I'm curious, what was it like to work with all of these incredible individuals?
You know, the best part about making this film was working with like-minded artists who all brought the same passion for the book. I think we all were so moved by Delia's story and by the character of Kaya, and really could imagine it on screen. And so just, you know, it's always incredible to work with artists who are bringing their specific skill sets to a project, but to all share a vision for it that was so aligned was amazing.
Definitely. And then the film takes place in North Carolina in the 50s and 60s, and everything from the breathtaking costumes and set design feels so authentic, which results in such a stunning composition in the film. Can you speak about what it was like to bring that world to life on screen?
Yeah, it was really important to us that we capture the time period really accurately. We consulted with an historian from North Carolina to make sure we got, you know, the specific demographics and sort of the, you know, social milieu of that kind of town in the South during that specific time period right. And then, you know, everything from costumes to production design to, you know, the script really took that into account and wanted to make sure that it was crafted really specifically, and it spans 20 years. So, you know, wanted to follow the evolution of the kinds of clothing that people would be wearing, but also, what Kaya's wearing should always feel a bit outdated because of course she's getting hand-me-downs from Mabel. And, so just thinking about always placing it as authentically as we could in the right period.
Absolutely, yes. Well, once again, the film is so incredible. That is unfortunately all the time I have, but it was so
So nice
great
to speak with you.